All right. What is good, y'all? Making a Walk podcast, episode 16. Got my partner in crime back here. We're going to dig into UFC 292. But before we get into that, as usual, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Make sure you like, share, all those good things. But more importantly, the Suga Show has officially begun. It's the flagship is rolled out. I already had the shirt. I was undefeated in my picks. That's documented. You know what I'm saying? It's on tape. So that's in the YouTube. So feel good about that. But more importantly, I feel good about the fact that was right about the Suga Show all along. It wasn't a fluke. Dana White said Dana White privilege does not exist. So he earned it. He earned it. Did he not? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't really see a reason to disagree. I mean, there've been some questionable early stoppages, but when's there not?
Questionable early stoppages.
Questionable.
So, I mean, do you think that this one was an early stoppage or what?
I mean, do we want to start there? Straight out the gate? Do I think so?
Well,
okay. So that was actually one of my questions to you. But I guess I can answer that question. Man, I don't know. Aljo's face hit the mat.
He did face
now. He did get back up. And he looked like he was going to get back up. But I think Keith already made the decision to stop it. And they were both in the motion, right? Keith is about to stop it and Aljo's like getting up. So I'm always going to lead toward giving the champ some time. But I'm going to go with the no.
I'm surprised. I am so surprised. I did not think you were going to say that.
Yeah.
So why do you say no before I tell you why I think what I think?
For that very reason. It was just that, Keith was in the middle of stopping. Aljo was in the middle of getting up. The dude face planted. I don't know if it was a booty in the air situation. I don't remember, off the top of my head, but
you know what? I think it was a booty in the air situation.
Yeah. Well, YouTube posted it immediately, so we can just check that out really quick.
That's because it's the Suga Show.
Oh, yeah. He's going full in. This is full on.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
I mean, no, they literally posted the entire fight on YouTube immediately afterward.
That's crazy.
What is it, 292?
Yeah, 292.
The whole fight.
That's crazy.
Is it?
But, I mean, it is, but it ain't, Like, it is in the sense of they don't normally do that, but it ain't because...
They don't ever do that.
It's Sean O'Malley. I mean, he's got that following, and they're like, okay, let's go head first into this. I mean, the UFC is a promotion. It's not like the NFL. It's not like the NBA. Those are leagues,
right?
And they have different things that they do. For the UFC, if Dana says, "Hey, man, throw that shit up there," they're gonna throw that shit up there. He's not Roger Goodell, who has to be impartial. So, I mean, right. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
No, there's been a lot of changes happening. I think they're just kind of slowly rolling those changes out.
Yeah.
I'm actually about to play to see if Aljo's booty was in the air, and there's an ad for Manscaped. And
which is perfect timing if you got your booty in the air like that, if that's what you like. But, I don't know.
Derek Lewis is actually on this ad.
What? Derek Lewis?
And that's
perfect.
No, and the whole ad, I guess, concept really is that his balls were hot.
He's a superstar.
He says that
man.
It's an embarrassing condition called "my balls was hot." So you got to make sure.
I knew somebody was going to. Wait, did I say something about that, or did you say something about that?
We did. We talked about how they should be, using that a lot more. But it's perfect. All right. Yeah.
time.
Full fight. 7 minutes, 2 seconds is on YouTube. So I'm just going to scrub and fast forward and see if that was the case. But that was my reasoning, by the way. It was just, I mean,
yeah, his face plant is never, because it's not natural, you know. It's just, I mean, we saw, you know, our son Jeremy, you know, about to fall the other day, and he put his hands down. That's just natural for a person to put their hands down. So if they don't and they break their fall with their face, you obviously know that they're out of it. But he didn't stop it there. He allowed Aljamain to try to fight his way back into it a little bit. But he started taking some terrible ground and pound, like full on direct shots to the face. And then when Aljo tried to get back up,
that was the
rolled
one
over kind of on his head, which isn't, you know, the typical way that a person gets up, especially a wrestler. So, I mean, I think it was a good stoppage. I think it was a brain-saving stoppage. I think it was good. And I don't think that Aljo really strongly protested it. You know, he did the traditional, you know, when they get up, they, you know, I was ready. I was good. Like, you know, but that's kind of the
not
safe
for
face.
long.
Yeah.
Not for long. So okay. Before kind of like, I have some questions for you just from a rookie perspective. But before that, I always wondered, what is it about Aljo that, you know, people didn't like, and what does he need to do to, you know, get the fans back on his side, I guess. And I don't know if I even talked about this during the show, but one of the things I know for sure I mentioned to you was that I felt like he had to lose. He had to lose, and he had to do it gracefully so that he can come back and just kind of rebuild himself. So I was really happy to see how he handled it. Everything looked genuine. His after, like, you know, post-fight Octagon interview, that was perfect. People weren't booing him at that point. So if you think about before the fight, he came out and they were screaming "F you, Aljo," and even chanting it in unison together happily during the fight too. It was horrible. He did the whole hair and everything. You know, he was trying. Matter of fact, when they do the face off, you know, there's a clip of him where he's looking around and you could see it visibly on his face. Like, man, like they really hate me. And I felt bad. I really did. So I think he played that really well. He also posted on his channel just kind of behind the scenes, you know, what happened after the fight. And, you know, he's just getting ready to do his the
post-fight interview.
Yeah, the actual post-fight interview. There you go. Yeah. And I thought, I think he did the right thing. I went to Reddit just to kind of engage what people were saying. So there was a lot of comments just as soon as that was posted. And I think he accomplished what he set out to accomplish in my mind. I think that was his, like, okay, if I lose, I got to do this thing here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I agree. He handled it well. And, you know, maybe that gets the fans back on his side a little bit. Just depending on who he's matched up with, he could be, you know, get a little bit more fan support, at least verbally.
My favorite was how somebody said something about, well, I just really didn't like the way he handled losing to Jan, you know, getting kneed in the face. And someone responded, well, you get kneed in the face and see how you would respond and react to it. And I was like, where was this? Where was this originally, you know? So I think he did it right. But here's my question.
Go ahead.
Well, you think what?
I was just going to say, I think that everything kind of fell apart for him, not necessarily right when he won due to the disqualification. It was the social media posting of him with the belt with his friends afterwards, like super celebrating this accomplishment. You triumphed and all that. And that just rubbed everybody the wrong way, including Joe, who went on his podcast and said something about it.
Perception matters. And also when these people that have a voice like that come back and say something about it, like that shit matters for sure.
Yep.
So, okay, like talking about the fight just in general, obviously Sean looked really good. Like his footwork is pretty damn good. How did he stop these takedowns? Well, let's start there. How did he stop these takedowns?
Well, he used his length and his ability to get away from the takedown by one, making sure that it was up against the fence. So that way he could use a wizard, so get an underhook, flip him up a little bit and turn him. And you notice like when he turns him, he'll turn his whole body, and because Sean is so tall and his hips are higher than Aljo's, he's able to just pull his leg out. And that's how he does it. He'll stay against the fence, wizard to get turned, and pull your leg out. Sounds simple, not simple against a high level wrestler, but he drilled it so often. Not to mention, he already been doing that. Like if you go back and actually watch his fights for that, you'll see that he did that a lot. So even against Peter Yan, he did that. So that's something that he's familiar with. And another thing is people underestimate Sean's strength. Sean actually is strong for that division. Even though Aljamain is ridiculously, jacked and looking and big and strong, Sean has leverage and wiry strength. So he's able to use that to get out of those situations. And it worked. It didn't have to work that many times because the fight wasn't that long. I mean, I don't know if he would have wore down later on. Who knows? But
I know. I mean, that kind of was my next question. If the fight lasted longer, maybe we could see a little bit more takedown attempts because we didn't see many. And I did wonder if was on purpose, right? From on Aljo's side, I think I remember him saying something like he didn't want to do the whole, point route, and he actually wanted to stand with him and have a more exciting fight from, I guess.
Which was a mistake, but
he said
why would you
that.
want to stand with a striker? Why choose that today?
And the biggest issue I think that he ran into was, the counter. What the hell does he what does he do? What does he do? Because at this point, in terms of counter striking, so I watched a breakdown from Mighty Mouse, I think, and he broke that down really well. What he does is come in with the Muay Thai stance and just cover his face, where Aljo came in, face was just wide open, just a bunch of real estate, hands were down. If he tries to move up doing that, it's like he said, what is Volk going to do to me?
Yeah, good luck with that. Not even not even Volk, Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar. The list goes on. There's a ridiculous laundry list of people who would destroy him with that counter, considering the fact, what I always say, when you are moving from one division to the next, it's not so much the weight, even though that does play a factor in the wrestling a little bit. It's not so much the weight, it's the length, how tall somebody is and what their reach is. Putting those two things together, that's what's going to dictate whether they're going to be successful when it comes to striking. Aljo already is not a traditional, I think I would say that he's a below average striker, even though I don't know if he passed the record, but he's close to the record for the most significant strikes in bantamweight division. I think most of those were accomplished on the ground. But when it comes to setting up strikes, setting traps, being able to strike going forward and backwards, he just hasn't developed that as much because he hasn't needed to, because he's such a good wrestler. I think that if he were to move up, he's going to have trouble with people who are able to put that length on him. Basically, I know. It sounds gay.
What do you?
Yeah, if anybody who was
put that length on him, yes, come put that length on me, please.
No.
So, okay, obviously he talked about wanting to move up before the fight. Now he's like, I don't want that length on me. Now he's like, maybe I want a rematch, right? Not maybe. He said, I want a rematch.
Did he eventually say that? Did he say that in his post-fight?
In the presser, yeah.
Okay.
I don't like how Sean responded to it. It's kind of, it was a real Dana White response. Now,
Well, one of
All's
those.
fair,
We
right?
don't make fights after the night
No,
of the
no.
fight.
He was like, I thought he wanted to move up. I thought the weight cut was too hard. Next question.
I
He
mean, I
hit him
think
with the Russell Westbrook. Next question.
I get it.
He
I get
avoided it.
I get it. Why fight him again? Like, you knocked him out. Like, what's so on one side you have a champion who was going for his fourth title defense. You know, do you give him a rematch based on his length of being able to defend his title, or because the fact that he got knocked out, it wasn't a close fight? Do you go ahead and just push him back a little bit and have him fight his way back to the front?
I think that's like an ongoing conversation, right? Like this just happened with Brandon Moreno, and I think with Brandon, I was on the side of like, no, give him a rematch, right? He clearly deserved it, in my opinion. With Aljo, honestly, it's not so much like that I disagree in terms of does he deserve it or whatever. I actually think he shouldn't, because I think he needs a break. He's been really active, and regardless of how those fights went, he's still going through the motion of doing, weight cut training, press runs, things like that. Yeah. I think, I just don't like the way Sean, disrespectfully said no versus like Pantoja. He was like, there's a lot happening in this weight class, and I think that Brandon can rest, and he was more respectful about it. So maybe that's all it was. In reality, if I were Sean,
you're okay with him saying no. You just wish it was in a more graceful way. Kind of.
This is not, not every fighter is going to be that way, but I think that I'm just in a different place right now with Sean, where I'm not a fan of Sean. Great fighter, just like as a person, it's like you don't gotta do that.
He's a little much for you. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, like in reality, if I were Sean, I think I would want to take the rematch, because what makes sense is Merab. He's a number one contender, and that just depends on what the hell Aldo decides to do. And I don't know that I would want to do that, right? Because I didn't truly get tested in terms of grappling or wrestling with Aljo. And then if it's not, which is probably why he called out Cheeto.
I would say, if I'm Sean, I'm probably taking the Cheeto fight, but
why?
From money, it's the bigger fight.
That's true.
That's really what it is. All it is.
I think Merab did a good job at trying to build it up, though. Yeah, with the thriller jacket situation.
For sure. The only reason that I kind of rule Merab out is because, from what I've heard, he's not healthy yet.
Yeah, he's still probably injured.
Yeah, and then you go next in line, Corey, also not healthy.
Also injured.
Yeah. And so next in line, if we're just going down the line, I think it would be Henry Cejudo, but he's coming off a loss. So Cheeto got a win, uninspiring win at that, but he got a win. So he's kind of like almost the only person that you put there.
Yeah. Yeah. In the UFC, they're not going to throw Merab at Sean. That's for sure. Not now anyway. Even if he wasn't injured.
Probably not yet, at least.
No, so that's the Dana White in full display, Dana White privilege in full display, but that doesn't exist, so we're not going to talk about it. So
now, I would say the most exciting fight. It really kind of depends. It depends. The most exciting fight is probably the Cheeto fight, but a close second would be Corey Sandhagen if Corey were more towards the striking side of things. Because, Corey, people forget how good of a striker Corey is because of, his lay and pray the decision that he won, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. I think everyone is starting to do something very similar we're all going back to watch their older fights before we start, before we watch anything they're about to do. So I think once everyone does that, it's just one of those recency situations where it's like, he did this whole like grappling situation last time, but the real people know what's up. I don't think there's going to be a question with Corey, but
absolutely.
I mean, I think we kind of covered everything with Sean.
Oh, with Sean and Aljo. I was just going to say, I agree with you as far as Aljo needing to rest. He's been an active champion. And even before he got the belt, he was active. So I think he does deserve some time to rest. If I were him, I probably wouldn't fight until March, April.
Yeah, give people some time to miss you, man.
Yeah, just chill. Just chill.
Yeah.
There's no reason to rush back in there. I'm sure he has some nagging injuries.
I think he should let what he just did just kind of brew and really build on top of itself. And that's really building up his personality back and how the fans perceive him. Because he's a good fighter. I still have him number two ranked, or number 2 bantamweight of all time. I still have him number 2. He's not going to eclipse Dominic Cruz for me unless he gets the belt back and gets a couple wins under his belt as champ. But I don't see that happening, to be honest with you. So we'll see. As long as he, get you some rest. Get you some rest.
He needs that.
Now I do second the Cheeto and Sean fight because that's on my bingo card. So
yeah, as long as they do it next year, so you don't get the bingo square.
No. They want to do it in December.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I think they need a little bit more time. Just a month.
Sean is good. He came. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. Sean did say that he came into this hurt. Yeah, his ribs was hurt. So, we'll see. Right. We'll see you in December, Sean.
Nah, January, Sean. January. So Zhang Weili beat Amanda Lemos. Unanimous decision. I'm pretty sure everybody saw that one coming. And it played out the way that I said that it was going to play out. I thought that Zhang Weili was too big and strong for her, and she wasn't going to play this striking at distance game, even though Amanda looked really good leading up to it as far as her striking was concerned. But I just didn't think that she was going to play that game with her. So Zhang Weili was like, nah, we're going to take down and we're going to ground and pound. That's what we're going to do all night long. And that's what happened.
When she picked her up and slammed her down, I immediately thought about Rose. And I really hope, because clearly they're trying to build Rose back up, come back and fight Weili. But
maybe.
I'm hoping Weili finally gets her win back, because I think she's down too, right? She's lost to Rose twice.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's if Rose wants to go back down and do that. But I know your stock on Rose is not very high right now. You're still on that Carla Esparza Rose combination, a fight that will never ever happen again. But I'm still high on Rose. I think she's an amazing striker, and she's going to be fighting an amazing striker in Manon Farrow at strawweight, but I know flyweight. But no, Zhang Weili.
That's right. I did forget about that.
Yeah, she went up.
But she's in. Okay.
What?
So wait, where did Rose fight Zhang Weili before?
A strawweight.
So did Rose go? She went up to flyweight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah.
But so she's fighting the number 2 ranked person at strawweight, at flyweight. I mean, so she's jumping right into the fire there.
Yeah, she really is. If Valentina doesn't retire this year, that would be fun.
If Valentina loses to Alexa Grasso and gets finished again, she gonna retire. Like, what's she gonna stick around for? Because Amanda's already gone, so that fight's gone.
I
What's
don't
the
think
point?
Rose is. Yeah, they're not even. Their fight's not even pay-per-view. But anyway,
Yeah.
Alexa and Valentina. So
Oh yeah, UFC
yeah,
Noche. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't
Oh,
think.
speaking of, well, no, I'll talk about it later. But something crazy happened that affects my bingo card, which is important. Anyway, what do you think is next for Zhang Weili though? I mean, she dominated Amanda Lemos. The only person that I could see that could give her trouble is Tatiana Suarez, and she fought last week. I don't think you've seen a lot of Tatiana Suarez because she was hurt for a while up until maybe 2 fights ago, and she's won 2 in a row, wrestling heavy. So let me rephrase the question: do you think that Zhang Weili, the person that could possibly give her trouble, would be a striker or somebody that's wrestling heavy?
Zhang Weili, has she always been a striker, or has she?
I would say she's been more lean. She leans a little bit more towards striking, but she started to develop her wrestling kind of the same way that Valentina Shevchenko did, and Corey Sandhagen has, where they develop it while they're in the UFC, and now she's just got another weapon.
In the top 15, I honestly can't think of anybody that would give her problems as they stand today.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense.
What
I think,
I would like to see is her versus Yan Shannon, but
yeah.
I don't know about. Yeah, I think I got to do a deep dive on Tatiana Suarez and who is this Verna person? I've never
Janjaroba.
seen.
Oh, you have. Yeah, you have.
Oh,
Oh, you've
okay,
seen.
yes, I've seen. So no, yeah, she's not going to be a problem for her.
Nah, Verna ain't ready for that.
There's.
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any problem. The only person I would like genuinely say that might be a problem for her would have been Rose, but not from an ability standpoint, more of a mental,
Yeah.
same thing coming
Yeah.
in. You've already lost twice. So that's probably it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But to be honest, she could chill. She can chill till next year.
She really could if she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no rush to get back in there. I don't think, unless they really want to book that Tatiana Suarez fight now. I don't think you need to. I think that Zhang Weili is the type of champion that you kind of attach to another championship fight. Somebody that's a bona fide headliner, you attach it to something like that. So we'll see how that shakes out. Unless
Yeah, but to answer your
there's, I was just gonna say unless she fights Yan Xiaonan in China. Now that is a pay-per-view headliner because of how big that fight would be in China.
that's why I was like, yeah, I want to see her fight Yan Shannon. And I guess for me, it was kind of a no-brainer. Like, where else would you do that fight? So, yeah, for sure. But to answer your question, what fighting style would give her more problem? Man, it really depends. But maybe because her like wrestling grappling is fairly new, I would probably say that.
Somebody who's an offensive wrestler that
I
can
think
take her
so.
down, and well, that's Tatiana Suarez.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, and Tatiana Suarez to me, she's big for the division. She has fought at flyweight, so
yeah, 6 wins by submission, 2 by knockout. So I think she seems well rounded. Looking just at her stats, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be the one. That would be the fight that I would make. So Ian Garry beat Neil Magny pretty convincingly. That fight was just not close at all. It almost seemed like Neil was scared. Almost. I don't want to say that he's scared. I don't think that he was scared. His feelings, yeah, his feelings were hurt.
Okay. You know what I meant by that?
No, I don't think he was injured. I don't think he was injured going into the fight. At least that wasn't said. But man, Ian got in his head. Man, he had that man so upset that it was very reminiscent of what Conor did to Jose Aldo, where he was just in his head so much it made him uncharacteristically just anxious. And you could see it like at the press conference. His hand was shaking.
He had Parkinson's.
Yeah, he was just mad. And when he got in the fight, he didn't fight like Neil Magny. He fought like somebody else.
Yeah. It was really weird. I don't know what Neil does at this point. Like, yeah, but he's got to make that up for sure. That was Neil, sad. I didn't even want to, like, every time he fell, I think by like the third time he fell, that's when I asked you, like, this doesn't normally happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
Leg kicks don't normally yield this type of falling, slipping on banana peels all over the place.
To your point about him being hurt, like, I don't think that he was hurt going in, but I think that maybe that first calf kick, like, really messed him up. And
yeah, Ian, he's a strong dude, for sure.
Ian just started spamming that thing, just started throwing that leg kick over and over. And then eventually, like, you can't really hold yourself up. You remember?
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
You remember when Alex Pereira and Izzy fought the first time, and Izzy's leg got hurt and he fell. He rolled back and then he was up against the fence. Do you remember that?
Oh, that might have been too long ago.
It's the same problem.
Pereira. I'm thinking Pantoja, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not.
No.
You mean in the first fight?
Yeah, the first fight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The same thing happened. He kicked him and he basically got drop foot. Like his foot didn't work anymore because he hit that nerve and right by your calf muscle. And that's what happened to Neil. That's what it looked like.
That makes sense.
And he just couldn't put weight on it at all. And that just messed up the whole fight for him. You put that together with him being in his head.
Yeah, Ian was extra disrespectful at the end of the fight too. That was mean AF. That was really mean.
It really was. Like, I was, prior to press conference, I was really high on Ian Garry. But after the fight, after we've gone through this whole thing, like, I'm still high on him as a fighter, but as a personality, he's going to get real old real fast because, one, he's taking somebody else's personality and slapping it on himself. That's one. And then two, it's the way that he's attacking people. It's not really funny. It's just mean-spirited. And don't get me wrong, Conor would attack people. He would say mean things, but there was an element of comedy in it, and it was original. This is not original. True. This is not original. And
also, Conor floated in and out of who his character was, right? Yeah. And then who he probably truly is, or just another face, whatever it is. So he wasn't consistently always, I guess the heel, as Uncle Chael would say. So I think he gave us a break from that sometimes. If Ian comes out and keeps doing that, yeah, I mean, it wasn't even a question. As soon as I heard him in the was it pre-presser, I guess? I was turned off immediately. That was horrible.
Yeah. I mean, everybody this on social media was like, you got to get your own personality, dude. Like this, you're literally being a carbon copy of Conor. And that's we're too smart to fall for that twice.
How did you feel? Did you see Sean walking backstage after the fight? Did you see that clip?
No, I didn't see that clip.
So did you see the clip of him in front of the mirror with the
yeah,
belt?
that I'm the man stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's carbon copy, right? Like he did the whole like little billionaire walk, the little.
Oh, did he do that? The Billy walk? Now, see, I didn't see that, and I hate I hate seeing that because again, that's somebody else's. That's somebody else's celebration. Get your own thing. Do your own thing.
What about like cross sports? Like I saw a baseball player do it. And that actually made me laugh. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen a soccer player do it too.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I mean,
like
that's
UFC
cool.
fighters, I don't know. In a way, it's still too soon to try to pay that kind of homage because, you know.
I think so. That's what it is to me. It's
okay.
Way too soon. Way too soon for that. I mean, he's still technically an active fighter. Like that's like being in the NBA. You hit a three and you do somebody else's 3-point celebration. No, bro. Get your own. Get your own. Get your own. Unless you're paying homage. Like LaMelo Ball, he hit a 3-pointer and he did Carmelo Anthony's. Like they're both named Melo. That was the whole thing. Like that makes sense. But when you start doing somebody else's, like, come on, man. You might as well be dunking with your tongue out. Like that's been done. Like, don't get your own thing. Have your own personality. And I think that that's going to hurt him as time goes on. But didn't hurt him in this fight because he destroyed Neil Magny. That was awful. And then he called out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who immediately declined that fight.
That was weird, right? Okay, so is it weird? Yes or no? Because he wouldn't fight. What's his name?
Michelle Pereira.
Overweight. There we go. Then they offered him another fight, and he said no.
Short
right?
notice. Yeah.
Which is okay. I get that. You know, he ain't a spring chicken. You can't be out here just you're preparing for one fighter. You know, can't really do that. But now this is what, the third fight?
Yeah.
So you can fight Holly? What are you doing?
I mean, I think, okay, so if I'm Wonder Boy and they call me and they offer me Ian Garry, this dude who's, you know, acted like this prior to the fight. So Wonder Boy, obviously, you know, he's got his own channel and he's seen this. Why would he fight back in the rankings against somebody who's going to act like that? To do what? Is that going to help him?
Fair point.
That's my only thing is like he's coming off a win. Point. He beat Kevin Holland, who was a ranked person in the division. So he already fought back. He was going to fight back again against Pereira, but Pereira messed that up. Wonder Boy's 40 years old. Like how much more does he have? He doesn't have time to be, let me fight Ian Garry so Ian Garry can, you know, jump up here over me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like the risk reward doesn't make sense. And I know that Dana put that out there, but Dana put that out there for a reason. And I think you know what that reason is.
No, I'm realizing now what Dana did actually worked on me because I'm not, you know, I'm not really paying attention. And that was my initial thought. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that. That's why he did it. For Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, like, he's doing the right
Genius.
thing. If I'm him, no, I'm not fighting back and doing you a favor. You didn't pay me when I came here on weight. Did my job. Now, you didn't give me my money?
Now, like, so I am gonna side with, I understand, like, we can't pay you $500,000 and you didn't fight. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Not like, I get that part. But I also see where Wonder Boy's coming from too. I've been here.
I totally understand them not paying him because if you go by the letter of the law or the contract, they don't have to pay him. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but that doesn't mean I can't feel some type of way about it.
Don't ask me to do you a favor because I'm not going to do you one.
Yeah. And he's been here a long time.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done plenty of favors.
I'm sure. But that's where one of the rare times where the fighter has a little bit of leverage and he uses it.
Yeah.
In the nicest way possible, because he's super nice about it.
He's the nicest friend. And it's so funny because that was like the entire time he was leading up to this fight, that was a whole conversation around him. He's like the nicest fighter. Is there any other fighter that's nicer than him or more like than him? And now it almost feels like they're trying to slowly tear that down.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I don't think it's going to work because of him having his own channel, because of the way the other fighters view him and the media, not social media, but the traditional media. I don't think that they're going to allow his name to be dragged through the mud like that. When, I mean, he's accepting or not accepting fights as they're giving to him. I mean, that's his prerogative on how he wants to do it. But if I'm him,
Dana almost got me. He almost got me.
If I'm him, I want to fight somebody in the top 5. And that's it. There's no lower than that. Top 5. That's it. Kamaru ain't busy. You want to do something? That's what I would do. He got bad knees. He 40. Something's got to give. But the last one we'll talk about, because I know we're running out of time, is Damone Blackshear and Mario Batista. That was a cool fight. It went exactly how I thought. But the more intriguing one was Chito Vera against Pedro Munhoz. What did you? Now, this is the only fight that didn't happen exactly the way that I thought, because I thought it was going to be a knockout. I thought that Chito would eventually find him. But what did you think going into that, and what did the fight kind of tell you?
No, actually, I wasn't surprised by that fight at all. Now, I was surprised by the judging of that fight. I don't remember off the top of my head which round. I thought actually, what's his name?
Pedro.
That he actually won. Was it a 30-27?
I want to say it was the second round that you said. Was it the second round or the first round?
Maybe either first or second, where I actually thought he won. And then when I heard the judges say 30-27, I was like, the fuck? What happened there? I didn't really understand why that happened, honestly. I haven't even gone back to see maybe why that was even possible.
Yeah, I have to go back to watch the fight. But I mean, I scored a 29-28.
Same. It was very close.
Yeah.
But Chito did what I thought he was going to do. I didn't think there was anything, revolutionary about his game plan. And I also don't think, I don't think he's going to do anything different really moving forward is where I'm going. But I was going for Chito.
Yeah. In normal cases, I would say that fight really didn't move the needle to like grab a title shot. But because of the storylines, because of all the other unforeseen circumstances, and if Sean is really adamant about getting back in there in December, I almost feel like Cheeto's the only fight there to take. But it will be a really big fight. I can tell you that. If by some magical unicorn meeting of the minds, something happens where Conor McGregor fights on the year-end card, and you got a Conor McGregor and Sugar Sean O'Malley headlined card, and that might be 2 million pay-per-view buys right there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I don't see that happening either. You're talking about Conor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either. That's a long shot. Definite reaching, and also I do, even though I do hope obviously they fight just so I can get a damn square on my bingo card. I don't really see that happening in December either. But I could see Sean really pushing for it. He didn't really get, hurt. and he probably wants to start off being a little bit active. I'm sure there's gonna be some things happening, so he's gonna have some space and time to kind of chill.
Yeah, for sure. So that's it. There's some other fights on the card that were really interesting. Chris Weidman,
that contender fight too.
Oh my gosh,
the
that
first
was a
one,
really good one. The first one was really good. Who was it? It was Corey Gibson and Cody Gibson and Brad Katona. Such a good fight.
That was another weird judging situation too. I think they did something similar. It was a 30-27, and I was like, I didn't think it was a 30-27, but
Yeah, I didn't see that either. But I mean, I remember them saying 30-27. I didn't see how they could have been 30-27. That fight was so competitive.
There was some definite suspect judging happening there, but
absolutely. The Silver Girls did what I thought they was going to do.
I missed it.
Man, of course, it's on ESPN. You can go back and watch it. Like it won't take very long. But I'm telling you, like I'm not. You know what? I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm not even going to say.
Because I don't even know what happened. Like,
okay,
I have no idea what happened in either one of them. Okay, cool.
Super good fights. But all in all, I think it was a really good card. Not as good as the last one. UFC 291 was insane, but 292, Birth of a Star. I'm super excited about it. You don't sound like you are because you don't like that dude, but I do, and I would be wearing the shirt, but it's dirty. So,
well, maybe he'll.
I'm gonna get another shirt.
Oh. Just to spite you, I might get an Aljo shirt.
They don't sell.
They don't sell, huh? They're going to be 10% off. So how about that?
They on sale. No, it's going to be more than 10. It's gonna be 50%
you said they're on sale. Yeah, probably. Shit. Better for me. Aljo. We love you in this household, okay?
Nah, we definitely appreciate and respect Aljamain Sterling for his title reign. And I hope nothing but the best for him, and I hope he gets some rest, take a vacation, and just chill, and then come back and
we love Sean too. By the way, we love Sean too. I was about to dye my hair pink for this, but it's just personality does matter. So it's a little, he's got some work to do.
We're gonna see. Cool. Well,
all right, y'all.
Yeah, we went longer than expected on this one. We just get talking and get rolling. But anyway, until next time, we will holler at y'all.